Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday, if it's Friday where you are. My name is Christiane Davidson, and I'm a very grateful psychotherapist and hypnotherapist. I feel so blessed to do the work that I do. It's literally like saving lives, and I'm not bigging myself up when I say that. I mean, this is the power of the work that is available for people wanting to break out of being being controlled still by their wounds of childhood. Um, and in the video today now, we're going to look at this question of, why do we still cling on to abusive and narcissistic people in our lives? What is it that keeps us yearning for them? Why do we find it so hard to let go? And I hear this all the time with my clients. I've experienced it myself, and particularly so when it comes to having had a narcissistic parent. The yearning, the clinging can be so strong there and very hard to break out of. So let's dive straight in. This is the problem when you've been in relationship with a narcissistic person. The crux of the matter here, the answer to this question is this: we fall in love with their false self, their public image. And we cling on to that public false image because we want to believe that that is their true self. Now, this is true for a narcissistic parent. So if you've got a narcissistic mother, you attach to their false self. It's the same if you have a narcissistic friend, narcissistic boss, narcissistic sibling, whoever. We cling on to the false self of the narcissistic person in our lives. Why? Because that false self represents the times when we felt momentarily loved, wanted, pleasing, admired, desired by them, seen by them. And so we try to convince ourselves that this is actually who they are. So I have clients all the time saying to me, yeah, but, my mother she did have moments where she was so lovely. And I did look up to her, when we were out in public, or, she had moments like that. And it's very sad when we start to see that actually these were moments when she was full of supply. So what we do is we cling on to those moments, believing that that is the truth of this person, and that when the horrible side comes out, that is actually the false them. And we find ourselves caught in this confusing place between trying to convince ourselves, no, that's what they're really like. It's just this other side that comes out every now and then. That's not so nice. And as a child, if you're growing up with a narcissistic parent, you take on the belief that it's you that has caused this not so nice side to come out. If only you could be different in the relationship, then you'd always get that lovely public self. But because you take on the belief that there's a problem with you, you see evidence then of the ugly self coming out in them. And as a child, you believe it's because of you. If only you could be better, then your parent would, want you, and would be the false self. The overt or covert narcissistic mother, father, boss, sibling, friend puts on an empathic, loving, kind, inspiring, charitable, flirty, sexy, loving them in order to maintain their false self, in order to obtain supply, in order to control and confuse you. That's really what it's about. It's in order to keep you confused. So when you see what I term the ugly side of them, that's not the false self. That is the true them. But you see, we cling to those moments of the false self instead, because we do get something from that. We get some semblance of being connected to them, that maybe they do love us in the false self moments. So, in order to truly set ourselves free, we have to be willing to accept and see that the one we thought was them, the one that we fell in love with, the one that we're longing perhaps still to connect deeply with again, never existed. That person doesn't exist. It's a false self. It was a mirage. And the thing about this is, once you begin to see beyond the mirage, you can never, ever go back. As soon as the cracks start to show, you can never return to the one you thought you knew or loved ever again. That person doesn't exist. And that is the painful part, especially when it's a parent or somebody you've been in a marriage with for 20 years or more. That the person you thought you were in love with and loved was an act. It wasn't the real person. You've been trying to connect with a mask. So we have to be willing to say a final farewell to the image that you thought was true. That's the painful part of this. This is why we cling on, because we don't want to let go of that. We don't want to let go of that sort of fantasy image, because we fell in love with it, and we believed that image fell in love with us, but it didn't. It's an image. It can't. And this is the only way. It's the only way to freedom, and it's the only way to healing. We have to get to the point where we're willing to say, no, I value myself now too much to be willing to put myself in a false relationship. We have to be at the point then where we say, no, this is not for me. And I see the false self clearly now. And it no longer tempts me. And that's the work I help clients do, especially with narcissistic parents. It takes work on the subconscious, in my view, to debunk the good mother, good father, and all the lies, that the projections that we internalize as children, because we are in hypnosis in the early years of life, so we take these things in deep. So if you'd like some help, if you'd like a turbo boost out of the false image that you came to believe was the truth about your narcissistic parent or your partner or whoever, please book in for a free consultation. Places are filling up quickly. This is profound work. It truly is, and it will change your life. That's my guarantee to you. Thank you, everybody. Have a fabulous weekend, and I shall see you next week. Bye.